The financial reality fair started out because we found that a lot of students just didn't have a real concept of what types of student loans they were taking out, how much that would impact their future budget. They just really had no concept of how a budget worked or what money was going to look like for them in the future. So we want to make sure that our kids are money smart, and we actually had our local credit union contacted us to see if this would be something we'd be interested in, and I was really excited about it because it's kind of like a giant game of life where the kids get to go and play pretend of what their future life is going to be like, and the kids seem to really love it, and I think it's been a really positive experience so far. When they first come in, they choose sort of what their post-secondary plans might be, and they just kind of get to play pretend. So it doesn't have to be exactly what they want to do, but they choose either going straight into the workforce, 2-year degree, 4-year degree or bachelor's, and we tell them typically 6 years for a master's and typically about 8 years for a doctoral program. So they choose one of those budget sheets, and then they can go to any table in the room and they select their housing first, and from there they'll stop at every table then to pick other aspects of their life that might accrue expenses for them. So what I really hope students take from this is that after they leave, there are going to be these little expenses that they're so used to mom and dad providing for them that they have to sort of account for when they leave Springford. And I really hope that when they look at those financial aid packages for the different colleges that they're looking at, that they really think critically about how much that's going to impact their future life, and think about the types of careers they're going into and how that's going to impact their salary, and make really smart decisions before they leave Springford.
I selected to rent a home, 1-bedroom home. Entertainment and stuff, I kind of went for the more high-end stuff. I bought one of the more expensive phones, but a cheaper car and stuff, and basic furniture needs, pretty much. Yeah, he said like earmark some for savings, obviously, like never like start thinking about retirement like early and all that. Pretty good advice.
The kids come in, they're actually prepped in their school with budget sheets and what the day is about. And the whole day is actually about them coming in and having a little dose of reality. All right, they're trying to learn what it's really like to be out on their own. So when they come in here, they have a starting salary, and they need to go to the different booths to choose and make selections in terms of how much money they'll allocate in different ways. They start with housing, because again, that's normally one of your biggest expenses. And then they can go through, some are required booths, some are optional as well. The majority of them actually did have a surplus, so they actually had extra money left over. Some of them had a pretty good amount, so what we talked about there was the importance of saving additional money, paying off debt, paying down credit card debt, paying that off sooner, the importance of your credit score, and for some of those as well, it was, hey, you had a part-time job, maybe you didn't really need it.
Save more money and not to spend so much money, because I had some money left involved even with a part-time job, but you still gotta save more money for more the necessary things and not the not so necessary things. So save your money.
So we are here today to present a financial reality fair for the students at the high school. One of our objectives at the credit union is to promote financial literacy in our community. So that's why we feel this is very important for us to be here today. So the Pennsylvania Credit Union Foundation came up with this idea for the financial reality fairs, and all across Pennsylvania, credit unions are presenting this same fair within different high schools. I think it's a good eye-opener for the students, because a lot of times they don't realize how much everything costs and how quickly their money goes every month.
I could down pay on something and pocket the money because I had money left over. So I put some of that into savings too, but I would down pay on my in-store payment plan. Looking at the credit union deposit accounts and stuff like that, I didn't know about this kind of stuff, but other than that, I had knowledge about that stuff.
It's basically to be a community advocate. So Citadel has a credit union. So one of our core values is to promote financial literacy. And a lot of times students don't really kind of know how to prepare for the future, how to prepare for their budgeting, things like that. So basically what we were doing was teaching them how to prepare for what type of car they would want, budgeting for which one would fit the best in their budget, teaching them about interest and why it might be better to buy a car than maybe do public transportation, because it might sound cheaper on paper, but once they actually figure it out, they actually end up cheaper to buy a car. And most of the time, they were right. They actually did a pretty good job. There was a few times where they were a little bit negative, and then we would kind of help them like adjust things. Do you really need to spend this much on clothing? Do you really need to spend this much on your cell phone? And if they weren't willing to budge on their expenditures, then we would say you might want to consider getting a part-time job to kind of supplement your income.